Hey guys, Cristal McLaughlin here. We are ready to watch, or we just finished watching Shahs of Sunset, and I just want to let you guys know we are breaking walls, we are going to Big Bear, and there's a lot to talk about this dinner. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh my gosh. So, Shahs of Sunset is back. Can you guys believe this?
I'm excited.
Yes,
I'm super excited too. So, we're starting off with season 7, episode 1. And we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of new people that are on the show, correct?
Yes.
And so I'm super excited to talk about them. Destiny is one, and so is Mona and her brother Nima. So we start off the episode with Mercedes talking about how she's about to get married, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of shocking.
Yes.
A little surprising, but I kind of knew it was going to happen eventually. And then we go into like them going into Big Bear, right? Mm-hmm. So they arrive to Big Bear, and Mike talks about this girl that he's dating. Her name's Mona. And he says he's going to invite her, or he invited her and also her brother, Nima, right? So they arrive, and, immediately Reza's trying to play Cupid. And while he's playing Cupid between him and Gigi, between Nima and Gigi, we realize that Nima has a girlfriend. And he pretty much acts like, not a big deal, right? What do you ladies think about that?
Oh my gosh. In regards to the whole like matchmaking between Nima and Gigi, Nima's the reason why I don't have any hope in dating, because it's like, you make it very clear that you're seeing someone, and then you see someone attractive. It's like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's like his girlfriend back at home is an afterthought. So I don't know. You're just not giving me any hope right now.
I feel like the minute I saw him, I kind of had just this feeling that he was going to be like that. I don't want to be like stereotypical or anything, but like the minute he walked in, just like the way his atmosphere was, I was like, this guy, there's something up with him.
Yeah,
So then when he said that, I was like, okay. Well,
Right?
I just proved all of it.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce these ladies on the panel. Go ahead.
Hey everyone, I'm Dania Marie.
Hey everyone, I'm Nycole, and that's Nycole with the Y.
And of course, like I said earlier, my name's Cristal McLaughlin. So now Reza is trying to play Cupid with Gigi, because obviously Gigi and Shalom are apart, and she's sort of feeling down, and he wants to cheer her up, right? And that's like Reza. He's kind of like a Papa Bear. How appropriate, because they are in Big Bear. And so that sort of like starts something later on, right? We'll go into that. But we also noticed that there's another cast member that's brand new. Her name is Destiny.
Right.
So they didn't give a huge background about Destiny, but I know you said earlier.
Yeah, I think it was like season 6 midway. She planned Mike's housewarming party. And I think I think it was Reza that introduced them, of course.
Of course.
So after that, she kind of just stuck around.
That's so cool. What did you guys think about her? I thought she was super funny and like chill, like I don't know, like she doesn't make you feel like you have to like pretend to be anybody but yourself, right?
I definitely
She's super laid
felt that.
back.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely got that vibe from her, and it doesn't seem like she's trying to fit in, And I just hope that, in this season we'll get to learn more about her. So I'm excited to learn more about her.
I really like her. From the minute I saw her, I wasn't too sure. But I think this season, ending season 6, I felt a little bit more sure about her. She was trying to help MJ with her relationship. She kind of just listens to everyone, and I kind of like that they highlighted her a little bit more in this episode. So
yeah, I thought she was great. She had a great personality. She almost reminded me of someone from like New York.
Yeah,
right? Didn't she have like sort of like a Jersey vibe?
Yeah.
Moving on, we're going to talk about Mike, right? So Mike has been divorced, right? And now he is sort of like going back into like looking for somebody in a serious relationship, right? But he was saying that for a while he was like spreading his seed, That's what he said. And also that he was just partying and just like living up life. Yeah. Now all of a sudden he claims that he is ready to turn his life around and look for the right woman. Which, by the way, will meet somebody he invites later on, which was Mona, who we spoke about earlier. And what do you feel about that? Do you think that she is going to be able to... Will she be able to like turn Mike around, or do you think any woman will be able to get Mike to settle down?
Okay, here's my thing about Mike, right? I have like sort of this love-hate relationship with him. Yeah. So Mike, I'm sorry I have to say this, like he has sort of this narcissistic personality, but then when he talks about how he wants to settle down, you know, I'm like, oh, that's so sweet, that's endearing. I'm just not sure if I really believe that, because he just seems so into himself and what he wants. And when it comes to considering marriage, you have to think about the other person as well. And then just the comments that he made about Mona and her wants. It's Mona, right? Yeah. I'm making sure I get the name right. You know, her wants and her needs in a relationship. And it's just like he shot her down. Like she's being too unreasonable. What do you think?
I think Mike claims to have changed, but I don't think he's 100% there yet.
I don't think so either.
Especially with the way he handled Mona. He was like, well, you just want too much, so just bye. Yeah. And to me, that was already like, well, you're not really trying.
Absolutely.
If you really wanted someone to settle down with, you tried to kind of look past that, find a compromise. But he was like, you want a super rich man. I'm sorry.
Right. He just
we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later, later in the episode. But so now I also want to talk about like MJ and Reza. The confession of them sleeping together. Not once, but twice, you guys. Yeah. Was that shocking to you guys?
Hell yeah. Excuse me, can I say that? I'm sorry. It was just, I was just really shocked by that. Yeah. Now I'm like really, Reza's confusing me now. Like, I'm really just confused. So like,
MJ did say that he had just recently gotten out of the closet, so he wasn't really sure. And then when MJ asked him, you know, how was it? Anyways, he was like, well, you know, it was, you know.
Kind of forgot because they were like teenagers or something like that. It's just.
To me, that's like a polite way of saying it wasn't that good.
Right.
Yeah. Most likely.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked.
No.
I don't know. I feel like when it comes to the Shahs, you just never know what to expect. Yes. And then when something like that happens, you're just like, eh.
Yes, I agree with you.
I still feel like there's some chemistry between them. Like they flirt. Yeah, I kind of see like MJ and Reza flirt a little bit in this episode.
I also feel like MJ flirts with everyone.
She totally does.
The way she's around, like.
But I feel like it was reciprocated though. Yeah. Like because I was like, oh, I think they might still have
laying
that
the head. She was like, oh,
yeah. And then when they were talking, he was like twirling her hair, you know, and he was like, oh, you want to sleep here with me, you know, tonight? And I was like, oh, I think there's still something that might be there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know if there's something still there. I think they're just like comfortable with each other. They're like best friends, and like of course there's probably like some sort of attraction. I mean, you can't help it, right? When there's a beautiful person in front of you, you know, you're gonna enjoy that. So speaking of chemistry, we also want to talk about how our AfterBuzzers are going to love our new reality shows.
Yes, you guys. So AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and of course more. There's no network that works harder to serve television fans, but we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't worry about that because they are optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments and we'll thank you on air. And for now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV Talk.
Yay. Yay. Thank you for reading that. So now moving forward, we're going to talk about them skiing, right? They go out skiing in Big Bear, and Reza brings up that they have like a certain like skiing style, right? Yeah. So we're watching them ski, and we see MJ, and she's very sultry and seductive, right? And then Gigi, she's like sort of like, I don't know, straight and arrow. She looks like she's gonna go kill
Yep.
somebody, right? Isn't it like so spot on that he pointed that out?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was like he really just analyzed them to a T, in my personal
Yes.
opinion. Like, especially the way that he described MJ. You know, like, she was like really bomb out there
She
on those
was.
skis. I was like,
She
okay,
was. Look at her.
okay,
She's so
MJ. She was like-
voluptuous and
she's like, I
moving.
got this. I really got this.
It
I
was
like,
very
okay.
MJ.
Yeah,
Very MJ.
for sure.
Super funny. And then Gigi too, right?
Yeah.
Like Gigi.
She's like, I'm a G. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. She was. she looked like a bullet flying through
Yes.
the snow, right?
Yeah.
So funny. So then after they go skiing, they like work up an appetite and they decide to go get a bunch of food. Were you guys like surprised? I mean, I have to say I wasn't surprised by this, but were you guys surprised about how big the spread was? Because they just kept ordering food like back to back to back to back. And even the woman who was taking the orders, she looked really surprised by it.
Yeah, she did. Okay, so here's my thing with reality TV shows, right? Because while there's obviously a lot of genuine moments that happen, I just almost feel like this was kind of sort of set up. Like,
Yeah.
maybe especially in Gigi's mind, like, okay, like during this dinner scene, I'm going to order as much food as possible. I'm like, because ordering that much food, it wasn't that necessary. I'm like, what is going on here? Like,
Did they even show they finished it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't think
if
they did.
Yeah.
I
so
don't think
curious
they
to
did.
know.
Yeah.
But it
That's
was,
a lot.
but it was so funny because Nima brought up the fact that they were sharing sauces,
Yeah.
and double dipping in them, and so basically they're sharing saliva, which is kind of gross, really,
He
if
was
you
not
think
there
about
for
it.
that.
Yeah.
He definitely
He was
was
not
not
here for
feeling
it.
it.
Yeah.
It was that was pretty gnarly.
And then the sister was looking like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
She's like, I can only have salad off this menu. So,
I think they definitely felt out of place for a good amount of the episode.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're new, so
yeah.
coming into a crowd like that, I don't think it's that easy.
No,
Yeah, definitely not.
They're definitely a special crowd, right?
Yeah.
So, being that they sat there and they experienced this, Nima and Mona, I noticed that they, like you said, they felt lightly uncomfortable. And Nima makes a comment about it being like National Geographic. Do you
was
guys
hilarious.
feel like that's exactly what it was?
well, once he said it, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, yeah, I can kind
I
of
feel
see
like
that.
someone who's not familiar with that culture and just the way like the Persian community is, or just people who are Persians who are friends, because I have friends who are also Persian, it's a different kind of more close community kind of vibe. So I think that stepping into that, it's kind of hard to take in. Like, I think they were saying they're not like super into like the Persian culture. They didn't speak the language. So for them to just step in and seeing that, I think that was definitely uncomfortable for them, and it was a lot for them to take in.
Yeah, it seems like they come from a different breed,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think I believe they said that they didn't grow up speaking Farsi.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting. And so they were saying how they aren't really connecting with
Right.
Persian people here in LA because of that.
Wow.
Have you ever experienced that?
Well, in terms of, no, I mean, I honestly, I can't really relate to that whole scenario in that culture, but just from what I've read about that culture, I know the language is so important,
Yeah.
you know, so I was taken aback by that. Like, yeah, we don't speak the language. It's like, what? Are you serious? That's like so important
Yes.
to that culture. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I was taken aback by that.
Yeah, I think like you were saying, language definitely is really important because you'll go from like English to your language. You know what I mean? And that's that extra connection that you have with someone else where you can do that in between kind of a thing. So I definitely think that's something that brings them together. Not only that, the food, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Food,
Yeah.
anything with culture, I think really brings people together.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
I was really glad to see Shervin showing up, you know, at the end of the meal, the spread, I should say. They show up back at the house and Shervin is there and he's making margaritas. Did you guys think that they were going to get like really sloshed? Because I was expecting this episode to be like really crazy.
Yeah.
They were gonna get super drunk and do stupid stuff, but it wasn't like there are older episodes where like they do that type of stuff. And I know that Gigi spoke a lot about them being adults and growing up and like growing from like their past. So I'm wondering if the season is gonna continue being like this. What do you ladies think?
So I feel like what they're trying to do is kind of have that build up throughout the season. I was a little bit kind of disappointed in this episode because I was just expecting a little bit more.
Yeah.
But so going back to like what you were saying regarding like, oh, we're so used to seeing them just like really party hard and just like get crazy drunk, but maybe they are just trying to show us a new side of them. So yeah.
While I was watching it, I was definitely thinking this is a really tame episode. I was like, where's the drama with them usually? So I was expecting them to get totally wasted, especially when Shervin, like you said, showed up, and it didn't happen. So it was definitely surprising.
Yeah, it was a little disappointing. I have to say so myself because based on the history of the show, right? The show is mostly about them drinking, falling over. Yep. I mean, they're kind of like the Housewives of New York. Right?
Yeah.
But I didn't see a whole lot of that. There was a little bit of, a love connection, I guess, of sorts. With Nima and Gigi. But really, there wasn't a whole lot that went on, which was, for me, was a little disappointing as well. So now let's go on to Nima and Gigi getting set up by Reza. So we spoke about it in the beginning, how like Reza thought that Nima should hook up with Gigi, right? To like, I don't know, make her happy and put her in a good mood. But he really sets up a dinner, and not just any dinner, a double date dinner. Yes. And it's with Mike and Mona and Reza and Gigi. And what was so weird was Gigi mentioned, and we all know this, but that Gigi and Mike have slept together. So how awkward is it to go to a dinner with the girl that you're about to date, and then Gigi goes to a dinner with a guy she could potentially date, and like knowing that they are two people that have hooked up? Is that weird to you guys?
You know what? I mean, yes, it can be weird, but they didn't allow it to make it weird. That's what I noticed. I think Gigi was just more concerned with, I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy myself. Honestly, I don't think she could really care less how Mike was feeling, if those old feelings snuck up, during the course of the dinner. But it was cute, like Reza's trying to play matchmaker. Yeah. So, but I don't know. It was, I like the fact that Gigi didn't make such a big deal out of it. Like, she's like, whatever.
I definitely think those feelings between Mike, Gigi, anything that was there before, I think it's gone. I think they're completely past that. They seem like the kind of people sometimes to just completely push back anything that happened from the past when it's something as small as that.
Right.
Of course, so there's like the bigger pictures where they continue to be on those same problems, like relationships and stuff like that. But I think when it comes to Gigi and this situation with Nima, I think she still needs time to focus on herself. I feel like she's jumping from like Shalom to Nima, which maybe she's just, used to having someone there for her maybe. Mm-hmm. But I still definitely think she needs time to focus on herself, get herself back together a little bit, and then go into relationships.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. What's so funny is that you said that they don't seem like they have that type of relationship, but earlier in the episode they talked about the rooms, right? And then she wanted Mike's room because it had a bathroom, right? And then she said, would you leave the room if I came into the room with lingerie on? And he's like, yes, but after I had sex with you. So that's why I think it's a little weird, because it's like even with Reza and Mercedes, like they're always sort of like this sexual attraction that they have, and you almost are not sure what's going to happen because of that. There's all this residual, like, I don't know, like, hormones are going, and
sexual tension in there.
Especially when it comes to Mike.
Especially,
yes.
And Mercedes too. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Which is funny because in the beginning of the episode, we saw a snippet of Mike and Reza going to go see MJ try on her dresses, and then what does Mike say? He says, "Who wants to go wedding shopping?" I do, because like she shows her her booty.
Yeah,
I could say that. Her kadon. So anyways, so then we see like clips of Mona and Nima sort of sharing a special type of relationship that they were saying reminded them of Angelina Jolie and her brother.
Oh, yes.
I felt like it wasn't as bad as they made it seem. But again, we didn't see, I mean, they cut out a lot of stuff, I'm sure. I guess there was one part where Mona had taken off a little bit of something from her brother's face. But, like, I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. Did you both think that they had, like, an overly friendly dating type of relationship? I don't know.
Yeah, I think I know what you're trying
to
say. So I think in the show they were kind of over exaggerating that interaction between them. I don't think it was as bad as they made it seem. I just think they're just really close. Honestly, I thought it was cute. I'm like, I kind of wish me and my brother had a more endearing kind of interaction. Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was really just kind of endearing. And even Mona, I don't know if you remember her saying, like, because he kept saying, just get it off. And she's like, I don't know, like, people are watching us.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. Well, maybe
too.
They are a little closer than we imagined. I don't know.
I think I did feel like that at the beginning. I was like, this is kind of weird. But, that's what the show's feeding you. Yeah. And it makes you believe that. At the same time, I do have a really close relationship with my brother. So I guess I looked at it differently, where I was like, okay, like, I don't think it's anything bad. Yeah. At the same time, I mean, the show's going to make you see it that way.
Absolutely. It kind of reminded me of this episode of Friends where Rachel was dating this guy, and he ends up having his sister come and visit him, and then they're taking a bath together, and, like, he was like, oh, it's fine. Like, we do this all the time. We've been doing this since we were kids, but they're, like, full-on adults. I don't know if you guys ever seen that, but
I missed that one.
You have to watch that episode. It's so good. Okay, so going back, they're obviously at dinner, right? And Gigi brings up, Mike brings up to Gigi, like, okay, so what is it that you're looking for, right? And Gigi mentions that she no longer wants to be in a committed relationship, but instead to have a sperm donor of sorts, but not just like any sperm donor. Like she doesn't want to like necessarily go to a clinic and like pick up some sperm, because she wants the father to be involved. So she basically wants to have a child with somebody who's going to be involved, but no attachment. Yep. What did you ladies think about that?
She's obviously still hurting. I'm sorry. Like, comments like that come from women who are still getting over some sort of hurt or some sort of pain. So when I was hearing her say this, I'm like, yeah, okay, Gigi, like, girl, I understand, you're hurt right now. I know you want kids, but trust me, I don't think you want to have a child and not have some type of attachment to the father of the child. Yeah. I mean, like, I would assume, I know everyone's different. Me personally, I would want to have some sort of connection, with the father of my child, but that's just me personally.
Kind of like what I was touching on before, talking about Gigi. She kind of jumps from, like, different things that she wants. So she'll go from, like, I want a very specific type of man, to now she's like, I want a child. Like, I need a child. So, like I said, she just needs to go back, I think, and take a little second, think about what she really wants. Because, I mean, bringing a child is not a small thing. Right. It's like once you have a child, that's it. So I think she definitely needs to kind of take a second and take a little breather and decide if, is a child really what I need?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think she definitely is trying to get over Shalom, and she's trying to feed a void. Yes. Right? Like, I think what she needs to do is just get a bunch of puppies. Just take some time for herself, really. You could tell that she's really wounded, and almost I see a little bit of depression on her, right? Like, she seems a little depressed and down, which is understandable. I feel like when you go through something like that, and you marry somebody and you think you're going to be with them for the rest of your life, and it doesn't work out, one, it's sort of a blow to the ego, but also, that's something that everyone's seeing here around the world, right? We're watching her, and I'm sure she's embarrassed by it on some level. And not only that, but in the reunion last season 6, they discussed how they were going to try and make it work, and it just didn't.
I think I knew, even watching the reunion, I was like, no, it's not gonna. No. I didn't think it was gonna work.
Yeah, he's just, I think they're both two firecrackers.
Yeah. Yes.
And, you need to have a little bit of a balance, right? You need your yin and your yang, and you need, you know, it's like having it's like having hot wings and alcohol or something, right? That's not going to work. But if you have like hot wings and I don't know, pH balanced water, I don't know, it's much better, right? Yeah. So we also have Mona discussing how she wants to have children as well, and when she discusses that she wants to have children, she talks about how she wants to have her children go to summer school or so, go to Europe for the summer,
have
right?
Like summer trips.
Yeah,
to
summer
Europe,
trips to Europe, and also to be homeschooled, but not just homeschooled by her, but homeschooled by somebody that she would be hiring. Now, we know that Mona is a pharmacist, and she does make some good money, but as soon as she said that, it was funny because Mike, you could just tell, like, immediately he was turned off.
Oh yeah.
Immediately. Like he didn't want anything to do with her. He made his decision right then and there, like, that's it. He even says to her, you need to find somebody that's rich. I felt like that was super rude, you know, even if he felt that way, because he invited her on the trip. And I don't think by any means he should like lead her on, but I think what he should do is say, hey, don't you think that might be a little extravagant?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he definitely could have just sat and talked with her and just got more of an understanding where she's coming from. Like me personally, I don't think those are unrealistic goals, especially if you have two people who make great money and just come to some sort of compromise. But for him to just kind of write her off like, oh yeah, you're too much, you need this type of guy, and you know, yeah, we can be friends, you know, that was rude to come off like that, especially in front of everybody. Like he could have took her to the side and had that conversation.
That's interesting that you say that, because I feel like Mike, my biggest problem with him is that in any situation, he always has to be like the super tough guy.
Yeah.
And he'll automatically just exude that, and I feel like it just like ticks people off. It takes me off when I'm watching it. I'm like, dude, chill. You know, like he immediately starts like crossing his arms and stuff like that, you know, and it's like gives off the wrong energy to people, especially to her.
Yeah.
It's like he has this, and I know a lot of guys don't like to hear this, but it just seems like he has a really sensitive ego.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like anything, just, oh my God.
And he's trying to hide it almost. Like almost in Spanish we call it machismo. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So he has this like ego that he's like puffing up his chest, right?
Like he always has to prove himself.
Yeah. And it was kind of disappointing. And even when they get back to the house, you know, it gets brought up again. And you know, I have to say, I love that Mona like sort of went back at Mike.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
She kind of stood her,
yes,
stood
I
her
love
ground.
that.
You know,
yeah.
I know that Mike had said something about her having naz. I guess that means in Farsi playing hard to get.
Oh.
So I can definitely see how she does have some naz, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think she would be great for him, to be quite honest. I think she would kind of like teach him something, and actually I think he could teach her something too, because let's just be honest, not saying it's not possible, but to have your children go to Europe every summer and to homeschool them, that's a lot of money. And you know, you're sort of like, what you're doing is you're taking this pool of men, at least in my eyes, and you're narrowing it really down.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not saying she couldn't have it, because she's a beautiful girl. She seems very intelligent. She knows what she wants. And if she does get it, call me, because I need to know how you do
right? Seriously. But I mean, I think that's what I like about her, because there's a lot of women who don't know exactly what they want, and she does, and she has no qualms about it. She's just like, this is what I want, and this is what I'm going to get. And then when Mike tries to make her feel bad about it, she's like, I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah,
like
probably why he's doing that.
Exactly. And, you know, I agree with you that they actually could be good together because they can balance each other out. You know what I mean? Definitely. And she could probably calm him down a little bit. And this goes back to what I think Reza made a comment in the show, like, Mike always expects women to bow down to him, like within the first 12 minutes or something like that. And she's not that tight.
That's the first thing I thought too. When she kind of stood her ground, and she just was very put together. Her life is put together, what she wants, what she needs to do. He didn't like that at all. Because he wanted to be the one to like set all that out for her.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
See?
So then towards the end of the dinner, I guess Nima says something really sweet to Golnesa. I guess he wants to end up like giving her the sperm or whatever. He agreed to it in some level. And then she ends up sharing her steak with him, which I thought was really funny. She says she doesn't share her food, which I love sharing my food. I'm like, oh, go ahead, have some, try it. And then what ends up happening is when they go back home, he pulls her outside and he takes her aside and he's like, I want to go ahead and take you out to dinner, but not just any dinner, a friendly dinner. But he's got a girlfriend, right?
Oh my gosh.
And then he tries to kiss her. What do you ladies think about that? Because I was like, hold up a second.
Girl, did you see me roll my eyes when I was just like, oh my gosh. It's just like, he's just showing the world that a lot of guys out here are just not faithful. I'm sorry. Like, that's the first thing that came to my mind. It's like, dude, you're embarrassing your girlfriend right now on national television. And I would say Gigi needs to be mindful of that, because if he's willing to do that to his girlfriend back at home, what happens if these two actually got together? What makes you think he won't do the same thing to you when he's gone?
Exactly, which I think Gigi also has to take into consideration as well. But at the same time, we're putting all the blame on him, but shouldn't Gigi recognize that also and be like,
I mean, she didn't kiss him.
Yes.
She didn't kiss him.
That was good.
I was so proud of her.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
I was super proud. I was
Yes.
like, good for you, girlfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
At the same time, she should be like, maybe you should sort that out first before we go to dinner.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I totally agree. So, when they were out to dinner, the group, MJ asks Reza to be what? The man of honor.
Yes.
What did you think about that? Wasn't that sweet? I wasn't expecting that. So I thought it was sweet.
I don't know. I wasn't surprised. You know, it's like, it seemed like it made sense to me. So I think what I liked about it is how excited he was. He was just like genuinely excited. Like, oh my gosh, really? Like, he felt so honored. So I thought that was sweet.
Yeah.
I think this touches back to the idea of Asa being gone. And the minute like Asa was out of the show, MJ, like she was saying in the beginning, MJ and Reza instantly became closer. And I think that now that that's happened, I wasn't too shocked that, plus Reza gets everything done, so why wouldn't you want him as a man?
Absolutely. So I guess that was the end of the episode. There wasn't a ton going on, a ton of drama going on. But, hopefully, I mean, seeing like the previews for like the season moving forward, it looks like there's going to be a lot of stuff happening, right? It seems like there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of people getting drunk. There's Mercedes getting married. And I believe I saw a fight breaking out between Mike and Reza, which, sounds about right.
Right.
What are your predictions for the next episode?
Yes.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So, my predictions. So, I really want to see how things go between Mike and Mona. I think he might go to the next level with her. He's going to... There's something about this girl. I think that's what he's thinking in his mind. I'm really hoping that she's not off the show this soon. You know what I mean? Like, because it already sounds like he's saying deuces. But I think that I want to actually see this take off in some type of way. So,
Yes.
I think I really want to focus on Gigi. So I'm excited to see how she kind of develops herself and how she handles this whole Nima situation. Because I almost feel like he might be good for her in some ways if he sorts out that whole ordeal with his girlfriend, because she seems different with him. Even in this episode, she's more shy and everything. So I want to see how that plays out pretty much. And I think that she will maybe have a little bit of a change.
I'm going to say I hope to see Asa and her baby. I know it's not going to happen, but I want it. I would love to see Asa. I would love to see her face, even if it was for 5 minutes. I would like to see... her interact with some of the, the cast and or the crew or whatever. And I don't know. I felt like there was somebody missing. But so anyways, I guess we will be tuning in next week. I hope you guys tune in as well. I'm going to go ahead and sign out. My name is Cristal McLaughlin. You can find me on all social media at Cristal823. Please tweet, like us on iTunes, and also hashtag us. Go ahead.
And my name is Nycole. You can follow me at @TheRealNycole on Instagram.
Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Dania Marie, and you can find me on all social media platforms at Dania Marie 9.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.